Welcome to Indy's Real Estate Gurus, your ultimate guide to the dynamic world of real estate in Indiana. And I'm Rick Ripma, your hardworking mortgage guy, and I've been in real estate and mortgages for over 24 years.
And I'm Ian Arnold, a loan officer on Rick's hardworking mortgage team, and we are both with Advisors Mortgage Group. Together, we'll empower you with expert advice, market trends, and successful stories from guru realtors and local experts.
Whether you're a homeowner, investor, or pro, join us as we navigate the thriving Indy real estate market.
Now get ready to unlock the doors of success, one episode at a time.
We are really excited today to have Kristin, right?
Kristin
Skiles.
Yes.
And you're with Century 21 Sheetz.
That's me.
And you are a rising guru. You're doing great.
I certainly think so.
Yeah, you're doing awesome. Congratulations. It's not an easy job to get going in.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
No.
So before real estate, what did you do? Where'd you grow up? You know, what was your life like?
Oh gosh. So I grew up in a small town in Northwest Indiana. I moved down here for college and never wanted to go back.
What town?
Lowell, Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah. My parents still live there. I did have to move back there for a little while I went back to hygiene school, or while I went to hygiene school. So I'm a dental hygienist. That was my career. I am still practicing as a hygienist.
Okay.
I've been doing that for 13 years, which doesn't make sense because I'm not old enough for that, but...
Right. Yeah, you're way too young to work for 13 years.
Yeah. So yes, I've been practicing as a dental hygienist. I do have a background in sales. I used to do a lot of like promotion work.
Okay.
Everything from, the fun liquor promos in bars to weird things like giving away lettuce.
So you went for dental school.
Yes, dental hygiene.
So what made you even think about real estate?
That's a great question. So I've always been into homes, right? I do a lot of DIY, not like painting walls, but like taking out walls.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Take them out.
Oh, yeah. I'll take out a wall. I'll plumb a bathroom. I'll do it all. So I've always been into that kind of stuff. I remember as a kid getting like an architecture design program for a gift once. Like it's always just been an interest. And I've been doing the dental hygiene thing. And I kind of just needed a change. My really good friend is an agent. I'm working alongside her. She had kind of been nudging me to do it when she started to do it. And I just couldn't wrap my head around making it work. I have 2 kids. I have a husband that works nights. Just how would I make that balance? So we fast forward and I'm not loving my job. The physical aspect of it, neck pain, back pain, that kind of stuff, that was in the back of my mind. Like, okay, Kristin, you need to kind of come up with a different game plan for the end. Where are you going to finish out your career? And then a lot of things happened all at the right or wrong time, depending on how you want to look at it, that made me pull the trigger and take the class and get my license and sit in this chair and talk to you guys.
Yeah. So how are you like balancing the 2 jobs? Because you really have 2 full-time jobs, it sounds like.
3 if you count the kids.
Well, yeah, 3.
Oh, we don't count kids.
Okay,
And 4
all
if you
right.
count your husband.
Oh, yeah. He might count as 4.5. I'm just doing the best I can. So I am fortunate that I'm only working 4 days a week doing hygiene. So Wednesdays I get to totally dedicate to real estate. I have lunch breaks, I have evenings, I have weekends. Just you squeak it in where you can, right? And it's not like real estate has a set schedule. You need to be able to work at all those random times.
Right.
Unfortunately for me, it just means there are certain times that I can't work.
Right.
So
Most people want to probably do real estate when you're not working.
Right.
Anyway. Mm-hmm. So it actually makes sense. It's amazing how many people. I have a friend who works for a real estate agent. He's now an agent, but the agent that brought him in is a doctor, full-time doctor at St. V's, but he's a real estate agent also.
That's wild.
Yeah, but he works like 7 days on or 8 days on or something, and then he's off.
Okay.
And then he was bored, needed something to do, and
I mean, I'm not doing it because I'm bored. That's for sure.
yeah. But do you pick up a lot of clients from the dental office?
I'm trying. So I've been at my practice for 10 years. I have a very solid relationship with most of my patients. They know everything about me and I know everything about them. So my kind of go-to move is to put them back in the chair, have my instruments, get in their mouth and be like, so do you want to sell your house? But I'm definitely talking to everyone about it, and they like me and respect me enough to think that even if they don't have a need for me, most of them are even asking for my cards. I'm not necessarily just handing it to them. So right now that is my biggest source of networking and trying to get some referrals.
Do you do anything beyond just talking to them in the chair? Do you get their information so you can follow up with them and keep in touch with them?
So a lot of that, if they express interest in having a need for my services now or in the future, then I do ask them, can I go ahead and get your information? I have this great newsletter I can sign you up for. I can, touch base with you in a few months, kind of see where you are. And they all have told me yes. And no one has unsubscribed from that newsletter yet. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's amazing, though, because it's such a great place to meet people. And if you've done it for 10 years, like you said, they all know you and they trust you. And who doesn't want to talk about real estate?
I don't know.
Pretty much everybody wants to talk about real estate, right? I either own a home and want to talk about what's going on in the market, what are values doing, and what are interest rates doing, or I don't own a home and I want to know, can I buy a home, or what do I got to do to get ready to buy a home? So it's like a perfect setup.
Right.
No, whoa. You're missing the whole point. They probably don't want to talk at that time because she's stuffing stuff in their mouth.
Well, that's the beauty. They can't talk. She can.
They have to listen.
Yeah. I do. The dentist and the dentist, they always ask all these questions. I don't know how you understand what I'm saying. How did they? I mean, it's amazing. Oh yeah, sure, Rick, it's fine. What? How'd you know what I said? I can't tell what I said.
So my patients do what I say. So they all have really great hygiene. So I don't have to work really hard. So we actually get to have a really nice little social hour while they're in my chair.
Yeah.
So that helps. Yeah.
Not everybody follows the rules. I understand.
If you want to be in my chair, you're going to follow my rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So you got into it. Mm-hmm. So did you do anything else to get going besides talk to your clients at dental hygiene and everything? Did you do open houses? How else did you?
So I've done a couple open houses. They weren't very successful, so it's a little off-putting when you're new to it and you're trying to figure it out. I am on the lookout for FSBOs. I'm trying to figure out what my niche is going to be.
Yep.
And I haven't had enough experience to know which one I like. But I'm trying to think a little bit outside of the box because I don't want to go after what everyone else is going after. So I'm trying to look for the FSBOs. I am thinking.
And FSBO is what?
For sale by owner. Okay. And I'm thinking about pursuing maybe the SRES, the Senior Real Estate Specialist. I do currently have a listing, and they are, I don't want to call them elderly, but they are a little bit older. And it kind of made the wheel start spinning. I'm like, it's a different kind of interaction, right? And I don't have my grandparents anymore. And you kind of get that little reminder of you get that grandparent feel and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what we've noticed is everybody finds their niche because that's really you get into real estate And one of the things I'd like to know is, so what's different about real estate than what you had anticipated it to be? And then but before that, let's talk about, so do you like working with an older generation? Because some people just love that. Other people prefer first-time home buyers. What are you finding that you, at this point, that you really, or do you like it all right now?
I like it all right now. I can't, it's hard to pick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a little bit more proactive. I know a lot of people find their niche by they just kind of fall into it, right? They see where the world takes them, and then it kind of just happens organically. I am kind of being more proactive, trying to seek them out. I don't know. Right now, everyone.
Yeah.
I like the excitement of first-time home buyers, the opportunities, being able to educate them, because with my background in hygiene, education is a huge part of it. So being able to educate people just kind of comes naturally to me. So that's where, I think I could be an asset for the first-time home buyers, but I don't know.
Yeah, for most people, if they haven't bought a home in a while, they all need education because it changes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that you've seen changes already. So let's go on to the question. What is it that you, like, what did you think real estate was going to be like? And then from what you thought, what is different than what you thought?
I think this is going to be a really boring answer. It's really kind of what I expected.
Okay.
A lot of it has to do with, I have that good friend who we've talked about it as her career is gone. So that's kind of opened my eye. Like, I just knew what to expect. And I haven't had any surprises yet.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll come. I'm very aware that they will come.
Well, most people that we've talked to, even the gurus that have been in it for a long time, they'll go, oh, yeah, I thought, a lot of them watched HGTV and all that, and they thought that's what it was like. And it's that misconception that people have. Are there any misconceptions that maybe you had that, like from a home buyer perspective, that maybe they don't really understand what a real estate agent does?
Let me think about that for a second, because absolutely you're making me think, man.
I know that's our job, is to make you think.
Everyone thinks that we just show up, stick a sign in the yard, and then cash our check and go shopping at the end of the day. But there is a lot of background. Like, the most important part of our job is to make it look like that's all we do. Like, that's why we're an asset to you, because then you don't have to do those things. You don't realize that something's about to hit the fan, because whether we know how or we reach out to our network, we fix it. We find a solution. We come to you with solutions, not problems.
Right.
And I think that's a big thing that from the consumer side, they don't even expect.
Yeah, because you hide, not hide. You solve something before they even know it's a problem, so they never feel that stress.
Yes.
Because there's already enough stress.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So you're with Century 21. So what made you actually decide to join them? I know they're one of the biggest realtors companies around here, but what made you choose them?
And specifically Sheetz.
Specifically Sheetz. So I keep mentioning my friend. Her name's Whitney. I'll just put that out there. So Whitney spoke very highly about them. She talked about the education opportunities, the support that they gave, and then I went to one of the sales meetings and I met the staff at our particular office, and I decided right then and there I had no need to even talk to any other brokers. I just felt that they were going to give amazing support. Our particular office is full of cheerleaders. You can go to them with your problems, you can ask for help, you don't feel like you're going to get stabbed in the back because someone else is going to go after what you're trying to work on. And as a new agent, I think that having the opportunity to have the education, the technical support, the marketing help, all of the things that Century 21 Sheetz has to offer, I think as a new agent, I would have been an idiot to not take advantage of.
How critical is that in the how they mentor you, how they're there for you when there's issues that come up, that you have people to talk to that can help you walk through? I think it's vital for anybody looking to buy or sell a real piece of real estate that they have somebody either has a lot of experience or has people on their team mentoring them that have the experience so they can go get those answers. How important have you found it?
Extremely. I don't think there's anything more important than that. I'm out here trying to make it look like I know what I'm doing. I took a class, I passed a board, I got a license. That doesn't mean I know anything. So without these people surrounding me, I would just be tripping over myself.
Yep.
Or I'd be making mistakes left and right, and we can't have that. We want to follow the rules. We want to be by the book. We want these deals to hold up. Like, I'd be lost without it.
Yes. I understand that. I just wanted to kind of emphasize it. I thought it would make sense to do that.
Yeah.
So if somebody's out there and they're going, oh, I want to talk with Kristin.
Yes. Kristin wants to talk with you.
What would be the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Call or text me 219-308-8076.
Okay. Call or text, and that's
219-308-8076.
Yeah, see, I have a short memory, so you got to remind me a couple
One more time,
times.
219-308-8076.
That's good. I think I still won't remember it, but that's good. It does help to have it done several times. And to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. You can look us up there and contact us from there. You can call us at 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. You cannot text that number. That is a call.
Yeah. So don't feel bad. He messes up our own phone number quite a bit.
I caught that.
So I know this is going to be a weird question for you because working basically 4.5 times jobs. So let's say you got to not work. What do we catch you doing for fun?
I have to think way back on that one. So I have an 18-month-old. So let's think back to before he came around. No, spending time with the kids. Everyone likes that. Being outside. My boys love to be outside. If I were to have a me day, that would involve a cup of coffee uninterrupted and still hot by the time I finish it. And maybe some projects around the house, using a power tool is kind of soothing to my soul.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You like to knock walls down and everything. Yeah,
absolutely.
We remodeled our house and they knocked a wall down, and it's like, man, I'm looking at them going, I don't want to do that. But
it's intimidating. I watch videos on social media about it, and I'll see something like, oh, I would not want to do that. And then I'm like, hey, dummy, you have done that.
So has your husband ever come home and then there's a wall missing and you're like, I wanted that down?
Yeah, my favorite was I was taking out like this closet frame, and I was like squatting on top of the washer and dryer one day, and he walks out and he just looks at me and then acts like he doesn't see me and walks away. And I'm like half holding like drywall down. I'm like, all right, we'll just keep going. So yeah.
So you were pulling the drywall down because you were taking it out or wanted to see what was behind it?
I think it started with I wanted to see what was behind it and ended with I just didn't want it there.
Okay. I'm impressed. And it also probably, how does that help your real estate career? I think that's a real value to have that knowledge.
I think that it helps me when I'm with buyers that maybe put something about the house that they don't like. I can be more realistic about what it would take to fix it. Painting isn't a big deal. Like small little repairs, people underestimate what they can do with a hammer. So I can definitely help identify that and kind of guide them and maybe suggest you shouldn't be trying to do that yourself. Just because I'm stupid enough to do it doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, you've learned.
I have. Yes.
So what would you say your superpowers are as it relates to real estate?
Oh, I'm going to go with building the relationship, which I feel like encompasses a lot. So it's kind of a cheater answer. You build a relationship by helping educate, by communicating, which is so important, by listening to what they have to say, and just being very clear and direct and open with your clients.
Yeah, it's just an interesting. I just think that it's interesting, but I also think that there has to be another one of your traits, and I'm guessing you're very good at managing your time. Is that true?
If you ask me, I'm going to say yes. If you ask my husband, he would say no. But yeah, you have to. I'm always thinking 3 steps ahead. So I need to do A, B, and C, but it would make most sense to do C, A, and then B, because I can let this do this while this happens and that. So I look at the bigger picture, which drives my husband nuts because he likes to say I'm late to everything, but I would like to assure you I'm on time for everything, not half an hour early like him.
Yeah, well, everybody has a different belief of what on time is.
Yes.
It absolutely is. So I read something the other day, and this just kind of kicked it out of my head, that they said don't manage your time, manage your activity or activities.
Okay.
So maybe you're just really good at managing the activities. So, and I think what they meant by that is you've got to manage your getting the right things done, right?
Yes.
So they were very good at, I read this, they were very good at that's what they were telling us to do, is get good at managing your activities, not your time. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I never thought of it.
I am notorious for being like, well, let me just do one more thing, which is why I'm always on time for things and not early like him. So
yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not a half an hour early. Mm-hmm. I'm a right on time. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be late, but I don't want to sit there for 5 minutes either.
My time's valuable. I respect everyone's time, and yours just as much as mine. So if I can be using that 5 minutes to be doing something better, I'm going to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, you guys are horrible people. You're supposed to arrive early. All right.
I knew that was coming.
I felt it.
All right. So what is like one piece of wisdom somebody's given you as you started to come up and become successful as real estate?
Don't be afraid. If that means you need to go knock on a door, if that means you need to pick up the phone and make a call, if that means you need to talk to the person sitting next to you at the bar, just don't be afraid. Put yourself out there and have those conversations.
All right. So when you say don't be afraid, so what's the worst thing somebody can say to you when you approach them?
No.
Yeah. Okay, how hard is that?
Yeah.
Just get over it, Yeah. It's just interesting. Rick and I talk about that, especially like phone calls and cold call-ins and stuff like that. What's the worst they can do? Cuss you out, hang up? Okay.
All right.
Call the next person.
Right.
And I think it's okay to be afraid. Mm-hmm. It's not okay to let it stop you from doing what you know you need to do.
That's a good way to put it. Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
It's okay to be afraid. Yeah. Everybody has things that, there's some people, we talk about cold calling, but there's some people, they have no fear of cold calling.
Right.
That just is not something they ever worry. They love to talk on the phone. I had a girl who worked here with us. She had no fear of the phone at all. She'd call anybody, anytime, didn't matter. But there was other things she would be afraid of, but it's just, I think the key is it's okay to be afraid. Mm-hmm. Do it anyway.
They don't know you're afraid.
Right.
So.
Right. And the more you do it, the better you get.
Absolutely.
Right. The first time you do something, you're probably not that good at it.
No, I am.
Are you?
Gosh, no.
I'm terrible. The first time I did a radio show, I'm glad I don't have a copy of it.
Ooh, can we get a copy of that?
It was horrid. You don't even know what station it was on. I still mess up, right? I mess up quite a bit, and I've been doing this for 15 years. You'd think I'd have it down by now, but it's still just the way it is.
You just get up and do it again.
I don't worry about it.
No.
Yeah, I don't worry about it. So what's your daily grind like as a realtor?
It's never the same. So it depends on, am I working with a buyer? Am I working with my seller? Am I trying to find someone to work with? So I do make it a point every day to do something. For the last 4 days, it's been trying to make one flyer that I want to mail out to some people, and whether it's just adjusting the font or asking someone's opinion, but that's been taking up a lot of my time. So the daily grind is just making sure you are doing something.
Now, is it taking up a lot of your time because it's the perfectionist in you that has to have it perfect, or is it some other reason?
I'll go with the perfectionist. I want it to be the right thing. If I'm going to mail you something, I want you to look at it. I want it to mean something. I'm not doing this just to do it.
Right.
It needs to have a purpose.
You want it to be valuable to the person.
Yeah.
And it can only be valuable if they look at it and they go, yes, I want to read this, and it has something of value to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. You want to go?
Oh.
I thought you wanted to go. Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were running this show.
I do. Not very well though today. Not very well. So, what are your big what are your go big or go home goals for this first few years in the business?
I want to make it past the 3-year mark, because that's when most agents give up, drop out, decide it's not for
90%.
them. Yeah, so I'm not going to be one of them. I want to do it right. I know, so I came in kind of late. The COVID mad rush, if whatever you want to call it, it's over. But a lot of these agents that started during this time, they jumped in. They didn't have to do it right. Everything was just unorthodox and just trying to get these deals through. And now that things have changed in the market, they have to learn how to properly fill out a form and communicate things. And so I don't want anyone to ever say that I didn't do that. I want to do it right. I want to get a few deals closed, maybe. That would be helpful. That'll help get me past that 3-year mark. And I want to build a referral base. I'm using some lead sources right now, but I want to be successful because other people see how valuable I am and tell their friends and family about me.
Yeah, those are good goals.
Well, thanks.
And how important to reaching those goals has your mentor or mentors been?
Absolutely amazing. The benefit to one of them being one of my best friends is I can text her at any time of day or night, and I usually get a response. Our branch manager is always available for me and super supportive. And without having that positivity, I don't think I would make it to that 3-year mark. Of course, as a newer agent, I'm at that point where I'm just trying to, cover what it costs to become an agent. And you have those down moments, and Whitney's great at being like, you're doing better than most people at this point. So having that cheerleader and that support is just, I can't even find the words to describe it.
Well, I've been harping on it a little bit because I think it's really important for people to know, especially if there's somebody listening that's thinking about getting into the business. So if there is somebody listening or people listening that say, I'm thinking about getting into real estate, what would you tell them? What would your advice be?
If you want to do it. But do a little research. Understand what exactly that entails. You have to do the class. You have to pass the test, which most people don't do on the first try. Then you have to find your home. Where are you going to be practicing as an agent? And then you have to realize you have to put yourself out there. You have to go find these clients. They aren't coming to you. You have to build your brand and do it with all these people competing around you. There was a Facebook post the other day about looking for an agent in Plainfield, Indiana. I had been there for 8 minutes and there were 43 comments already. By a couple hours later, there were 600 agents chiming in saying, hey, pick me, pick me. You have to be prepared for that. You have to realize that it is a hustle. It is a grind. It is not you roll out of bed and houses just sell themselves for you.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
All right. So what is one lesson you have learned?
Follow your gut. We don't want to walk away from a potential deal. But if you're getting an icky feeling about it, it's not worth it. So follow your gut.
Yeah.
Or even if you think it could turn into something, that's another example of following your gut. Following your gut isn't always walking away from something negative. It could be helping you find something positive.
Yeah, we deal with the same thing, especially now. Most times we only talk to people on the phone and through emails and text messages. We don't see a lot of people come in. Sometimes we'll be asking for stuff and then it's taking a while. We're like, something doesn't just seem right. something seems off. And you advance it a couple weeks, you're like, that's what it was. So trust me, yes, following your gut is a huge thing.
Yeah.
You want to try to overcome whatever it is, but sometimes you can overcome it, and sometimes you're better off walking away to make everybody happy. I mean, what you want is a win-win for everybody, and sometimes it's not the right situation. Going back to what you said, where there were all those people, going after that listing, how do you separate yourself from everybody else?
I'm still trying to figure that out. we all try to point out that we bring a particular value. And as a newer agent, I am still trying to pinpoint what is my particular value. So I'm still figuring it out. I don't know.
Well, we know some of them. You're very. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. You're able to control your activities. You manage your activities. You're able to. You said your superpower was relationships and building those relationships, which I think is actually what real estate is about. I don't think it's about homes. I think it's about relationships. I think
you're right.
Homes is part of it, but relationships is what it's about. So it's all about building those relationships, and that's something you're strong at. That you bring in, you already brought in, which is really good.
Okay.
So if somebody does want to get a hold of you and they want to buy or sell real estate, what's the best way?
Oh, please call or text me at 219-308-8076. Like I said, just a simple text or phone call, 219-308-8076.
Yeah, see, the people don't want me saying the number because I always mess it up. I mess up my own number, so nobody wants me to say the number. So if you need to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. You can look us up there, contact us from the website, or you can give us a call at 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. You can call that number. It does not accept texts.
All right, so here's going to be the question of the week, and I hope you're ready for this.
I'm ready.
What was your first car?
Okay, so my first car was a 1992 RS Camaro with T-tops, no air conditioning, that when we got it, when you popped the hood, there was nothing in it, just kind of a hose hanging out. And my dad built it for me. And within the first 30 days of having my license, I got pulled over. Within the first 2 months of having my license and driving that car, I may have wrecked it. And then I had to pay to repair it.
So did your dad second guess after the wreck whether he should have got that car?
I think he knew going into it that he shouldn't have gotten me that car. And we traded it for a Bonneville pretty quickly. But I loved it. I had good, that wreck actually, as terrible as it was, is probably one of my favorite memories.
Really? Yeah, see?
So, what made it one of your favorite memories?
So my brother was in the car with me, and we had gone to go sell some raffle tickets. He was a wrestler, so we were selling some raffle tickets, and I was late getting home, so I was driving way too fast. And the cops flew by, and this is not the smartest thing I've ever done. I thought I could hide from the police, and I tried to turn into a driveway and just like went over this embankment. And the cops, of course, come back for me. And they have like their guns drawn and the lights shining on me. And they don't know, they see me and my little brother get out of the car, and they're like, oh, God.
This is a small town.
Small town.
Yeah, so they know you.
Yeah, so I'm sitting in the front seat of the cop car. They call my parents, and my brother is standing with the other officer helping him direct traffic and selling raffle tickets to these people.
So it was successful.
Yes. So, I mean, I did him a favor, right?
Yeah.
Like it just, and it's a good memory.
Yeah. So I have to know, what motor did your dad put in this Camaro?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It was fast, though.
It was fast.
Yeah, he put way too big a motor in it, sounds like.
Probably.
With somebody behind the seat, in the seat with a lead foot.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been known to have a lead foot,
I
too.
Still have a lead foot, yeah.
All right, so we'll get back on the real estate side. All right, so let me put a little crystal ball in front of you and say, in about 10 years, what's your ultimate goal for this real estate? Like, do you want your own team, stuff like that, or? I
don't know. I'm still, figuring out, like, what would that mean? What would it mean to have a team? I think that is something that I would be interested in. But I want to lay my head down on my pillow at night and feel that I'm successful at what I'm doing. I, of course, want to be able to provide for my family. I want to have the flexible schedule that comes with it. I want in 10 years to look back and think that I made this career change and it was the right thing for me to do.
Yeah, because it's a big deal.
It is.
It's a big deal to do it.
And it's not just about the numbers. Like, of course, we all have jobs because we need to pay our bills, but I want the whole package. I want it to just fit my lifestyle and be happy with my life, which means professionally and personally, and they're all intertwined. Because especially with the hours that we do with real estate is, it does work into your private life. And in your private life is also when you're trying to network and build your business. So there really isn't that clear separation. So
yeah. So how do you see social media playing into that, building your business?
I think it's probably going to be really important. I come from that generation that, used DOS operating system. So computers aren't necessarily my strength because I haven't had a need for them. As a dental hygienist, I put in chart notes. Like, I'm not building social media campaigns and, I'm trying to make this flyer. It's just not something I've had to do. So it's intimidating, but it's something that I'm realizing I'm going to have to master and understand, and keep in mind that how you use that social media changes all the time. It's not a set in stone kind of path, but I think it's going to be really important because that's how people communicate.
Yeah, it's hard to say there are agents, that's how they do their business, and they've exploded because of it. Mm-hmm. There's other agents that are also exploded and they don't use social media at all. And I think it just goes back to that relationship. Social media is a way to stay in front of people and keep that relationship going. It's like when I was a kid, obviously there was no computers, there was nothing. So when people moved away, you never saw them again.
Right.
My kids, when people move away, they're still friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so they still get, they're all well out of college, and they still have all their, a lot of their friends because of social media.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think it can be critical, but you really do have to learn how to use it.
Yes.
Yep. And you got to be careful.
Yes.
So earlier you mentioned your newsletter, and this came to me. So what do you actually put in your newsletter that you send people monthly?
So this isn't my personal newsletter. This is something that all of the Sheetz agents have access to, and it's just called Neighborhood News. And you put in their address, and it sends them a monthly, just kind of breakdown of what's going on in their neighborhood, home values, and this and that. And one of my potential prospect, they aren't ready to move yet, and they don't even know where they want to move. So we're kind of just playing around with putting different zip codes in there for her to monitor and see if that is an area that she wants to look into living in.
Well, it's awesome that they do it and based on the neighborhood, so you can put in the address, because that's what I care about.
Right.
I want to know what's selling in my neighborhood, what the pricing is. And when I say neighborhood, it can be a little, not just directly in my neighborhood, although I prefer directly in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. But I just think that that's a phenomenal thing to do. And it's an email that you don't mind getting. It's a newsletter you don't mind getting because you get it and it has information, like you said, you want something that's going to benefit people.
Right. Yeah. We get a lot of the stats sent to us on a regular basis, and I am an Indianapolis address, and I look at these and I'm like, but that isn't even close to pertaining to my particular neighborhood. So yeah, having more honed in information is always helpful.
Right, because we talk a lot about national trends, and we talk about state trends, and even Indianapolis trends.
Right.
But there's a huge area in Indianapolis. There's some areas that are probably selling houses in a day or two, and there's other areas that are taking, 60, 80 days, 90. I don't have any idea.
Right.
I just know that it's not a consistency across every area.
No, it's not.
And prices are the same way.
Right. You have Hamilton County, and then I'm based in Hendricks County. And there's a huge difference just between those. And people, a lot of times, if you say Indianapolis, both of those areas are part of what they picture in their mind. So there's definitely big difference.
In Indianapolis, even though we got a lot of the suburbs around, like Carmel, Fishers, everybody considers that, but still, those are in different counties.
Yeah.
And people, we got so big so fast. I don't think people realize that yet. Do you plan on keeping both jobs for a while, or do you plan on trying to, after real estate fully takes off, do you plan on weeding that out, or what's your game plan?
My goal is to be a full-time real estate agent. I think I'll have to phase it out. I'll have to kind of cut down to 2 days a week and then completely phase it out. I have, my dream timeline for what that's going to be, and then I have my realistic timeline for what that's going to be, and then I have I'm going to take it as it comes, and we're just going to see where this ride takes me.
So does your husband think you're always busy?
Yes.
Well, I think she is. I think she is always busy. So what would you say, is there something that's happened or there where you thought, okay, this is exactly what I want to be doing?
It's coming. I can see it. I can reach it, but I haven't hit that point yet. I'm not deterred from it. I'm not thinking that this isn't what I want to be doing. It is really hard for me to have that feeling, because I did think that maybe I would have cut back on my hygiene hours by now, but I haven't. So,
but it's let's face facts. The market is a tougher market right now. And there's not a lot of listings.
Mm-mm.
And it is a much tougher market. It's a great time to get prepared. And it's not that you can't get listings, you can't get sales, you can, but it's much more difficult today. So it's using your time wisely is what gets you to where you want to be, right?
Yes.
And you have to keep that goal in mind. The problem for most people is, and I'm one of these, I'm not patient. And I always have to remind myself, you got to be patient. It's just going to take some time, but that's hard to do.
I think that is going to be my biggest challenge, because I am a very impatient, I'm a very right now kind of person, and that is not what this job is. And that goes in with how I also thought I would be able to spend more time on it than I currently get to. But
yeah, it's just the way it is.
It is. Yep.
And you gotta deal with the hand you're dealt.
Exactly.
Right?
I try really hard not to try to change things that I can't control. So I just one day at a time.
It is interesting. So the last time it was a really tough market was like 08, 09. And it's interesting how many of the top gurus started then. And they're like, we didn't know anything different. We just went out there and did our job, and it just worked out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically, I think, where you're going through now is, all right, you just got to put my work in, and later on it pays off.
Yes, and that thought has definitely crossed my mind. I kind of mentioned earlier, I think I'm glad that I didn't jump in during the big COVID boom when I really kind of started to spin the wheels and think I wanted to do it, because I'm going to learn the most by coming in at this time. And I do have the benefit of I have a steady income to kind of fall back on when we hit these road bumps.
Yeah. You learn the most during the most difficult times. We don't make change when everything's great.
Right.
Right? We just we try to keep the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
But when life changes, and life always changes. I've been around a while, and I can tell you life never stays the same. And you actually, when you look back at it, I'm sure you're the same way. You look back at it and you go, oh, the hardest times is when I actually grew the most.
Because you have to think. You can't, like you said, you have to change. You have to think outside the box. You have to get creative. You have to take a step back and evaluate the situation versus just going through the motions, staying with the flow.
Yeah.
So I want to try to make your job easier.
Okay.
So if somebody's listening to this right now and they have a question about buying or selling their home, how can they reach you?
Oh, please call or text me at 219-308-8076. Any questions, if I don't know the answer, I can definitely get it for you. And I could do that via 219-308-8076.
And it's Kristin Skiles.
Kristin Skiles.
Skiles.
Although my son's name is Harry, and we all know who Harry Styles is.
Yeah.
So let's not confuse.
So Kristin Skiles.
Skiles.
Okay, so no T, it's a K.
It's a K.
Right, so nobody can get that messed up now because I did it for them, right?
Yeah.
So they should know that. And then you're with Century 21 Sheetz.
I am.
And if you want to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can give us a call at 317-672-1938. It's 317-672-1938. And please follow us for more Indy's Real Estate Gurus.
And a reminder, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or refinance, let us know. We'd be more than happy to help you. First, here's what I would do. If I were you, I would add another email to your account.
Okay.
But put a T instead of a K. Just so
I wouldn't.
No. Just have it where they both go to the same one.
Okay.
It's like a web address.
Okay.
Sometimes people add S at the end, and they have them both go to the same. But thank you for joining us on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And we look forward to seeing how much you grow over the next couple of years.
I hope you guys just watch me ride.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Rick Rippman's NMLS number 6645889. Arnold's NMLS number is 1995469. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.